Hello everyone, today we'll talk about the solution to the problem tuple with same product. When I see a problem like this, where we have to count the number of tuples, in this case quadruples, that satisfy some condition, it says this condition A times B is equal to C times D, and the numbers have to be different. Then I typically try to think about how to rewrite that condition, or from which perspective I can look at that condition, to make this counting easier, to make this counting in such a way that we do not have to iterate over all the quadruples, because that would be n to the power of 4, and it's definitely possible to do it faster. So sometimes you have to perform some arithmetic modifications on it, so maybe move some things to some other sides and so on. But in this case, what we can do, and this is not really a meet in the middle sort of situation, but it's kind of similar in an idea, is that we are trying to count a pair here. This product is equal to this product. Then maybe if we count just all the products of pairs, we can arrive at a solution by looking at just all the products of pairs, because we see here that the product of some pair has to be equal to a product of some different pair. And now in the general case, it might not be that easy to calculate it, to calculate the final result. Because of repetitions, we have to have that A, B, C, and D are all distinct, but luckily for us, all the integers here are distinct. Because if they weren't, we would have to try to consider, okay, what happens if 2 of the numbers are equal? What happens when 3 of the numbers are equal? That of course doesn't make sense for 3 to be. But for 2 it makes sense, for 4 it makes sense, so you probably have to calculate the basic thing, and then calculate also some corrections, and only then you get the result. But here there are no corrections necessary. Whenever we have, so let's say that we can arrive at a given product through some number of different pairs. Now every 2 pairs are consisting of completely different numbers, right? Because when we just iterate over, so we'll be maintaining the number of occurrences of every product, so we iterate over all the pairs I and j in our list of nums, and we just increase the count by 1 of their product. And we can calculate the result based on that alone, because any 2 instances of a given product will be composed of completely different numbers. So any pair of products has 4 different numbers within it. And now it's almost just enough to return that number. So the number of pairs would be, for a given value, let's say that we have those different products, this prods.values, since we are here having a counter, it's how many times every product appears. So if a given product appears v times, then you can take v times v minus 1, and that would be the number of pairs where we have distinct values. And of course we could also divide it by 2, and then we have pairs that are ordered in the same order as if we would have here in a for loop. But that is not exactly the solution. That's because we are counting tuples and not like sets of numbers. So we can swap A and B, and we can also swap C and D. So when we look at and of course if we also allow swapping the pairs, then we can swap both A, B and C, D with each other, so that's also another 2 times the possibilities. So it's either 8 times v minus 1 divided by 2, or just 4 times v times v minus 1. We want to sum it over all the numbers of occurrences for every product, and this is our final result that we return.